Yes, good day, everyone. This is your friend, Dr. Arlie Macasiano Imperio. I would like to answer the question that I received from one of our listeners. The question is, can we use antibiotics to kill any virus that may enter our body? So, to answer that question, we have to learn what is the character and nature of a virus. A virus, if we will compare it with a bacteria is obviously a living organism. In fact, when you look at the microscope, you can see different types of bacteria, and you can even see them moving. Others they move in a singular line, others in pairs, or others in tetrads, or they are all in four. They are living microorganisms. So since they are living objects, they can be killed by antibiotics. So antibiotics are chemical substances that will kill these microorganisms. That's why we say anti-bio. Bio means life, so anti-life. Now, when we look at the virus, let's say in a more let's say powerful instrument, because the viruses are smaller, very very much smaller than the bacteria. That you cannot see the virus in an ordinary type of microscope. You must have a more powerful magnification. And when they are seen or identified, they are not moving at all, unlike that of a bacteria. That's why it's like seeing a grain of sand, let's say, in your magnifying device, and there is no movement at all. So there is now the obvious observation: is this a living object? Is it alive? And the answer is that it is not. Outside the cell or outside the human body, the virus does not have life. However, when it is able to enter a cell, or when it is able to enter the body, it becomes alive. Not that it has a life on its own, but it will use the biologic character or activity of the cell. That's why we refer to our virus as an obligate intracellular parasite. Intracellular because it will enter the cell, parasite because it uses up the resources of the cell. It is an obligate intracellular parasite as technically described. And you may also look at it as a genetic uh, burglar, or let's say a hijacker. So it hijacks the cell, and then it will multiply itself. And when it is able to enter another cell, then the process is repeated. And this can happen again and again in the body, that if it overwhelms the body, it can harm the body. That's why the goal is to prevent any virus from entering the body. That is one strategy. And the second strategy is when the virus enters the body, initially the body seems not to notice. That is why the virus is able to use the resources of the cell. It hijacks the resources of the cell. But when the body's immunity or immune system is able to identify the virus, it will immediately elicit an innate response, immediate action to kill or neutralize the virus, let's say within hours or even within 3 days. And then the body will move towards adaptive immunity, where it will specifically develop antibodies against the virus itself. That's why usually when our immune system is strong enough, we survive any viral attack within 3 to let's say 5 or 7 days. So the idea is to strengthen one's immune system in order to fight back. So the question, do we have antibiotics for viruses? The answer is no, because it does not have life on its own. However, we are able to develop antiviral drugs, which can shorten the activity of the virus, and that may take quite a time to develop, or we may even develop a vaccine against the virus. If the virus is identified, the virus can be weakened in the laboratory. We call this attenuated, and then it can be introduced to the body in order the body to completely kill or neutralize the attenuated virus, but in the process, be able to remember the character of the virus. So we have memory cells that will do that. And then when the real virus enters the body, the cells of the body or the body itself can immediately neutralize it because it is already familiar with the character of the virus. So I hope that brief discussion answered the question. That's why with the current, let's say, virus spreading worldwide pandemically, that's why now you can understand we say that there is no treatment for the virus. Therefore, our best option is to avoid getting the virus. So we have protocols or measures on how to do that, like wearing of a mask, face shield, washing of hands, social distancing. These are the simple but effective measures to prevent the virus from entering the body. And then the second strategy is for us not to spread the virus, because if the virus is able to enter the body, we may not have any symptoms at all, but we can be the spreader of the virus. So when we follow the same protocol, we are able to prevent the spread. So avoid being contaminated and avoid spreading. So that's the reason why we have steps like home quarantine and community quarantine. In our next discussion, we will discuss what is the effective way to do, let's say, self quarantine in order to prevent the spread of the virus. We will discuss this in one video episode. So this is your friend, Dr. Arlie Macasiano Imperio, greeting everyone with health and prosperity. Always remember to point to God, who is the source of our life and strength. And remember that prevention is always our best option than getting sick or getting even the best cure. So until our next broadcast, remember that God is the only source of our total supply. God is the only power in our life. Always give recognition to Him, connect to Him, and be a positive of good for more and more people.